Oh, I took the lower path again. He outfits these cute little critters with bioengineered animal robo-suits, so he's not eradicating the natural world, he's taking it and using it. He's using it. Bubble. Jeez. I almost ran out of time and drowned. Does that remind you of anything? Human civilization? So when Canada extracts their tar sands, that space doesn't cease to have an effect on species and humans. But you may have noticed my readings of the game so far to run into a complication. If speed seems to be accelerating misery and exploitation and the time span before which we face ecological apocalypse, why does Sonic 2 seem to celebrate speed? The truth is, Sonic 2 is a struggle to navigate the contradictions under neoliberal capitalism and its velocity. Sonic can't outpace Robotnik. Come on. Jeez. Arrows. Okay. But that doesn't mean it would be good if he just stayed back, you know? Should he just cede the speed to Eggman? Speed, power, technology, none of these things are evil, inherently. They are neutral and natural facts that bend to whatever wields them. And it is currently the life-obliterating forces of oligarchy, empire, and ecological extraction which wield them, and wield them to the ends of wielding them further. But Sonic needs them too, if he's going to be successful. Sonic can't escape the Sega console. He can only move in a rightward direction. So he has to work agonistically within a game that's built for speed. We don't have to forfeit all ideas conjured by liberalism, nor do we have to ignore what capitalism has produced in order to progress our agenda further. In fact, we don't even really have a choice. We just have to be critical and judicious about it. Come on, give me a good arrow. Stop! Okay, stop! So yeah, speed is the enemy of Sonic 2. It's also the only thing I have as a player. He's taking forever. Now, if you believe that this reading is bad economics, or impure theory, first of all, take it up with the makers of Sonic 2. I'm only analyzing here, but specifically you must deal with Sonic 2's chief concern, which is the acceleration of ecological crisis. We are on the clock. The carbon budget is used up. The climate's not going to wait for us, or for us to theorize perfectly. What it doesn't act uncertain about is Sonic's need to end this despicable arrangement against Eggman. But to do that, he has to survive, and he needs to keep up. This is the predicament of the modern left, especially in the Anthropocene era. We need to do the lengthy work of imagining and scrutinizing and creating the world we need, but we have to do it while we're running forward. At least that's what Sonic 2 theorizes. Let me just focus on this, I guess. Yeah, Eggman is for sure the bad guy. He's venture capitalist. He's here to say time is money. No sleeping on the job. Clock out when you go to take a piss. Get your hours. He'll give you half an hour under what you need to work in order to receive benefits. He'll make you work overtime but keep the wages. And you can't do anything about it. You can't sue. You can't campaign against wage theft because you don't have time. You're working for Eggman. By the way, welcome to Casino Zone. Do I even have to say it? Do I have to spell it out? This is a visual metaphor of casino capitalism. Capitalism is not in order, nor do efficiency or innovation keep it under control. Exchange rates bounce around like Sonic bouncing in a pinball machine, getting trapped in some kind of slot. Investments succeed or fail by forces which are not predicted by spectators, and bubbles will shut the economy down every 10 or 20 years and reboot it in a form that's even more unbearable than the way it was before the prior boom, in the boom or bust cycle. And yet, the rich always seem to catch out. If you have enough inherited treasure, that lets you as an investor have a portfolio which is guaranteed to make you rich, while most people can't even afford to play the game. That's the casino of capitalism that's represented in this stage. The 2008 recession collapsed the global economy, leading to actual death and misery around the world, and the bankers responsible none of them went to jail. They didn't pay out. In fact, the poor people had to bail them out, poor and middle class with our tax money, when the slots didn't deliver for the rich. And the casino wasn't even regulated enough to stop expanding after that debacle happened. So yeah, it seems pretty rigged, just like this stage is rigged as a death machine designed for Sonic by Robotnik. The economy is a casino, and one where the people in charge, the rich people, always win. But, okay, the stage looks fun though, right? There aren't even many hazards anywhere. It doesn't seem so bad on the surface. But neoliberal capitalism gives us a lot of little pleasures. Little choices afforded by the free market, which we hear about in such lofty terms. Entertainment is a nice way to dull the grinding force of exploitative low-wage labor that we can enjoy in what little leisure time we have. But do you think it's actually fun for Sonic to be bounced around like that? Did it look like I had any control going through that stage? I didn't know what I was doing. It was fun, I guess, but not for Sonic. For Sonic, he's experiencing the American shibboleth of mobility. Since America is free, including in the marketplace, we have unlimited choices to move about and do what we will, and we can do whatever we want. That means if Sonic is poor, it's Sonic's fault, because he had the choices that could have worked hard and pulled himself up by his bootstraps. If Sonic doesn't like his job, or if you don't like your job, you can just leave. And if Sonic doesn't want to be sprung around in a big old pinball machine and slammed against bumpers, he can go and do something else. But Casino Night is the next stage on the way of Robotnik's path, which determines Sonic's path. So Sonic doesn't really have a choice, does he? Just like you can't move jobs without losing your healthcare, or maybe you have signed a non-complete pact that prohibits moving within your industry, or maybe you're on food stamps and you have to accept the first job that's offered to you, even if it's not ideal, or you have 3 jobs and no time to get education or even an interview for a better job. You do not have control over where you move or what you do. Labor supply decides all that. It's hard to pay attention. You are coerced to settle as soon as possible, or else you will starve. Now, here the libertarian replies, well, if you don't like it, why don't you just move? What is it? Oh. If you don't like it, why don't you just move? I'm a stupid person, and I think that's a good substitute for an argument. Well, in a way, they're right. If your situation is unbearable, you will move. You'll be pulled like a magnet to some desolate hellscape where there's work, away from your family and your community. So Sonic is mobile in Casino Night Zone, but he's not upwardly mobile, is he? It's Robotnik's mobility, not Sonic's mobility. Sonic doesn't control where he goes any more than a pinball controls where it goes in a pinball machine. So since we're describing the mechanics, the ideological mechanics behind this corporate hell in which we're bouncing around, I'd like to discuss the mechanics of the Sonic game and how they provide evidence of my interpretations. So first, the ring systems. The ring mechanic is important because they signify wealth, obviously, but they aren't lost incrementally. Sonic is on a different stratus than Robotnik, so unless perhaps you get Supersonic, which is upheld as a possibility, but like too difficult to actually be worth it, that leaves Sonic as a temporarily embarrassed hedgehog in a way. Ouch. It's expensive to be poor and profitable to be rich. That's casino capitalism. So when Sonic loses his rings, he loses all but what he can scrounge up amidst his scramble as he's lost his momentum. Like that. Oh gosh, oh jeez. Well, I scrounged up one of them, and I only need one ring to stop from dying. This represents the social safety net, which